Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast. I am Joe.
I am Caleb.
And today, ladies and gentlemen, I woke up after 4 hours of sleep.
Oh, nice.
And sat in bed listening to an audiobook, or an audio version of Final Fantasy XIII, Episode 0. I think it's called Promise, or...
yeah, it's Promise.
Promise? Oh, my God. I listened to the first part, which is Sarah and Lightning, and somehow did not fall back asleep within that hour. And I'm here. I've survived that ordeal.
Yeah.
And I got my coffee, and I'm ready to talk about it.
There you go, yeah. We've been doing a lot of these translated audio dramas and or translated books. I'm not sure if this one... I don't know if it's in English or not, because, I mean, one of the images on the video we watched had a picture of the book, and it looked like it was all in English, but I'm not sure. So I don't know if we could have read this ourselves. I think we could have, though. I think I remember us finding it online. But you know what? Why read it yourself when you can have someone read it to you?
That's right. And who's reading it to us this week, Schwartz?
So this week it's actually one of our listeners, and I think he's told us this multiple times over the years. He has an audio version of it. It's the Scott Spot on YouTube. He's a big follower of the show, big fan, great friend, good guy, tremendous guy. You know, he's
fantastic.
He did a pretty good job on this video too. I was quite impressed. But the first one I looked up, I was like, all right. I went to YouTube and I was like, I don't want to read this. I just want to listen to it. And then the first one I found was actually his. I was like, oh. And then I scrolled down a little. I'm like, who made this thing? And then I was like, oh my God, it's that one guy.
I had that experience about a month ago when I was like putting up all the media that we were going to miss.
Yeah.
Or that we had to do reviews of. And then I was like, Scott Spot. Wait a minute.
Yeah, and the sad thing is I think he's told us like 7+ times throughout the years, and we're just, every time we see it, we're like, whoa, that guy? And then we just forget. It's like, oh my God, Scott Spot made this video? Whoa.
Oh my God.
And then the moment we click away from that page, it just like, it's just out the window, out the other ear. You know?
But I don't know if you're ready to hear this, Schweiss. This morning I found out that there were more Final Fantasy XIII novellas released.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not even like it's like I just went to the book section of Final Fantasy Wiki this morning, and I almost shat myself.
Are there a lot?
There's 2 more.
Okay, this one's pretty long too. I looked at the rest of them because I was like, all right, let me go find this guy's playlist and see, because I was only seeing the second video, and then for some reason a bunch of like Britain's Got Talent bullshit in the search thing. I don't know why it's like grouped with that. I was like, here's part 2. Oh, and then here's 7 Britain's Got Talent videos. Simon buzzes too early, and I'm like, who cares? What does this have to do with this? But I pulled it up, and I think it's like a 7-parter if we go by the part 1 through. I think the last part is like 20 minutes long, but every other one is about an hour.
This part is called Encounter. So just to be fair, our Ultima Final Fantasy episode is going to be titled Final Fantasy XIII Episode 0 Promise Encounter.
Oh, okay.
So that's our whole thing. This is 7 parts. The next Final Fantasy XIII novel. So this takes place before the events of 13.
Yes.
It's kind of like On the Way to a Smile was for Advent Children.
Yeah, and just as useful, I would say. Why the fuck was this not part of it?
And then we have Final Fantasy XIII Reminiscence. And we have Final Fantasy XIII 2 Fragments After, which is actually first. So Fragments After, I think it let's see, mainly covers the loose ends within the plot of FF13. Wow.
Oh, so is it like a 70-hour...
FF13 2, sorry.
Oh, okay.
And then Reminiscence After takes place after Lightning returns.
Oh, God. Isn't that just Earth, though? Can't we just look at, like, a brief history of mankind? And
there are fan translations of all of these. And in the original Ultimania of Final Fantasy 13. Apparently, there was a series of stories as well, which I'm not going to count because it was never part of its own thing. But those are totally 2 other novellas after this.
Well, it sounds like we've got content.
We got content,
reviews.
guys. Oh yeah, so much content.
After this one though, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm like, wow, the 13 stuff is,
as long as they're read to me.
Yeah. In a great way too. He does a pretty solid job of it.
He does do a good job.
The only thing I would say is like there are a couple spots where he like stumbles and then restarts. I'd probably just edit those out, but sometimes it kind of
wouldn't edit those out. Come on.
That's true, yeah. Sometimes it kind of fits the scenario though. Like it's like they're kind of like crazed and like, oh my god, this just happened. So they're thinking to themselves and they like repeat the thought. So it works.
Wow.
It's great,
okay,
though.
so Promise is going to be released in English next year.
Oh my god. Why is it taking so long? Like it's crazy to me. They know this is their money making land. The US, the West is where they get all their Final Fantasy dough, but they constantly spurn us. They tell us that we like the games easier even though the numbers, the stats show that we like it harder. They're like, they don't need the books. They don't need to understand what's going on at 13. They'll have plenty of pompous assholes that just say, oh, I understand 13, and everyone else just feel like an idiot. And it's like, no one understands 13 unless you've listened to this shit. This explains a ton. I don't know why they do this, though. I don't know why they take so long to give us the things that we deserve as their consumers. It's like
they're
it's
biggest
maddening.
consumers, right?
Yeah, Final Fantasy's huge in the States. It's
English
big.
language countries. I think we outsell Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
so
outbuy.
Yeah, well, it's
whatever, Square.
Yeah, if you want to take years and years and years, do your thing. Just cancel all the FF15 stuff and give us the FF13 books. That makes sense.
It does. Totally does. So real quick before we get into any of this, I have not touched Chocobo's Dungeon. It will happen this week. Had no work at the beginning of this week. Got a whole bunch of projects done, and then worked a bunch and got drunk the other night.
Oh, you drank?
Some people, yeah, I did.
Do you regret it?
Did the next day.
Yeah. That's how it always is, man. Like, every time I get really wasted, I'm like, oh, man, I'm never going to drink again. Like, I am never going to drink again. And then, like, 3 weeks later, I'm like, I kind of feel like getting a 12 rack. Like,
well, the last time I got drunk was with you watching Advent Children.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
And I'm not kidding you, dude. I was pretty buzzed with 2 beers. I've had a single beer a handful of times over the last 2 years, but then I had 2 beers in quick succession, and I was starting to feel it. Like I thought something was wrong. Like I thought I was gonna have a migraine because like my shit was like a little off, and then I was like, no, this is what being slightly drunk feels like. And then I was peer pressured into a few shots of vodka.
Ah, gross.
Yeah. No, it wasn't too bad actually. So what vodka did we have? Was it like Smirnoff?
Yeah.
That was the worst thing I've ever had in my life.
It's still in the freezer, I'm pretty sure.
We had Absolute vodka here.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
and I thought that actually wasn't too bad. And then our Colombian roommate Juan, he had some like it was similar to like Sambuca. What is that, Jägermeister kind of thing where it's the licorice flavor?
Was it underground?
No, that doesn't sound like it.
Oh, okay.
I think it was some sort of. I want to say it was Colombian. I have no idea though. So
that was probably amazing then.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, those ones
so
are
I had
dangerous.
a little bit of that. So I had like, I guess a total of like 3 shots after 2 beers. So I got drunk. And I am also suddenly a lightweight.
Yeah.
Not that I was ever a heavyweight before, but
well, when you lose weight, it affects your ability.
Yeah, I guess I was still still kind of fat, so I don't know.
You're like, come on, you can't just cut me a break for being kind of fat still? Like, yeah.
I'm still definitely fat. I'm not kind of fat, but I'm not as fat as I used to be.
Me too. That's
Hashtag me too.
Yeah, that's right.
Have you played any of the Chocobo Dungeon?
No. I'm planning on starting it this week, though. This week is going to be Chocobo Dungeon week. I've still been playing a lot of Red Dead 2 for the fun of it, but I'm trying to do everything in there, so like it's taking a long time. But I'm gonna start concentrating on Chocobo's Dungeon because we're supposed to be reviewing it in 2 weeks, right? Or is it next time?
It's 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, I was like, fuck. Yeah. Okay.
No, it's not next time. That's why I would have been freaking out by right now.
Yeah.
It's like 20 hours.
It's you know what? Some of these have been misleading though, as far as their times to beat. I mean, you beat the last Chocobo game in like 7 hours. Yeah,
it was a little early.
Yeah,
I'm guessing I'll beat this one at 15.
Yeah,
at that rate.
We'll see. There are a couple people on Twitter. True Hoax, one of our followers. He's saying that this is a pretty good game, and he's like super looking forward to it. He dug out his copy of it and everything to play along with us. So, guys, if you have this game and have never played it, you should join us. You've got about 2 weeks to beat this 20-ish hour game. Plenty of time, right? And join us for the review.
Awesome. All right. So I do have, before we get into the news, before we get into our review of Encounter, we have an email, Schweiss. We have an FF Story email.
Oh, yeah, you're totally right.
I want to encourage everybody to send these in. If you're never going to be a patron of the show, like at that level, which I got to talk about in a second anyway, then you can always send us your FF stories in our email. Our email is fffanatics123@gmail.com, or you can go to our website and go to our contact page. It'll go to the same place. Or it'll go to our Geekdom email. Either way, we'll get it. And this is from Stephen Kelly. He says, "Hi, Joe and Caleb. Steve here from Ireland. Whilst I am not a Patreon user, your podcasts have given me hours of entertainment in my boring-ass job driving a train."
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I know. That sounds sweet. I'm not supposed to wear earphones at work, so shh. Okay, his name is Stephen Kellingus. So my way of saying thanks was a PayPal donation I made some months back, so thank you very much. Anywho, you guys said you wanted some FF stories to share. I'm a big fan of the invite shows, by the way. I had very few people to chat with about Final Fantasy in my teens, so it's cool to hear people's stories about how they got into the series. So here's a story of mine. Do you have it pulled up, or are you?
Yeah, I am pulling it up right now. Here we go.
Okay. I can take the rest of it. It's fine. About a year after FF7 came out, I got to play FF7 at a friend's house for all of 15 minutes. It was such a buzz in Ireland, as we all knew about the video game. As all we knew about video games was Paperboy, Buggy Boy, Lemmings, and Thundercats on an Amiga game keyboard thing. First off, I think Lemmings may be one of the greatest video games of all time.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
I don't think you were missing out there. If you had the original Lemmings, oh shit, dude, that game's so good. But he says it's pure shite. At least maybe the Amiga game keyboard thing. It's pure shite. The TV ad, which had Sephiroth walking away from the flames, was the most epic piece of footage I, at 9 years of age, had ever seen. So me and my brother saved until we had 90 euros, or says old Irish money. I don't know that symbol. Oh my god, I feel like an idiot. PS1 cost, I'm going to say dollars. Fuck it.
Yeah, just translate it.
The PS1 cost 110 Irish dollars, so our dad donated 20 Irish dollars to the cause. After all the savings and work, we forgot that FF7 cost 45. Yikes. Most crippling moment in my life. Luckily, our friend couldn't figure out how to get past Mako Reactor number 1, and he let us borrow the game. But with our lack of video game knowledge and strategy, we couldn't understand materia. So we made it to the world map without any materia changes. Cloud had Cure as standard, and Red 13 had Fire as standard. Anyway, we made it to the world map and got stuck on the Chocobo farm.
Oh, you can run past that thing. I figured out. I was like, I don't get this Chocobo thing.
You better go back in time and go to Ireland then and let him know.
Yeah. And be like, dude, just run across. Save your game midway, and he'll reset.
Midgar Zolom tore us apart until we had to invite a guy to our house who caught a Chocobo whilst we looked in amazement at his skill. Time passed and we saw clouds past and heard about the mysterious Zack in Gongaga, got Yuffie and made our way to Cosmo Canyon. But before we could head into the Gi Tribe Cave. Is that what that is? Gi Tribe Cave? I'm missing something.
It's like the... I think it is Gi or something.
Okay.
It's where you go find Nanaki's dad, like the Seto guy. It's in stone. It's a pain in the ass fucking cave, to be honest.
I just think about it all as Cosmo Canyon.
Yeah.
I guess that might not be a canyon. Says when he got there, his brother deleted his save. He says the tears that followed, along with the expressions of hatred. But we eventually got over it and tried again. Little did we know that Cosmo Canyon wasn't a million miles away from the game start like we thought. Anyway, I just want to say thank you for the hours of entertainment, and thanks for reaching out to me yesterday about FF11 on Facebook. I never intended to play it. This must have been you, Schweiss. I never intended to play it, but I am currently playing 3 FFs at any given time, trying to complete all the main series games so I can be one of what your friend Baindrum calls the quote-unquote elite. Keep up the good work. I posted a review on iTunes earlier. I'll paste it in this email too. Thanks again, guys. And thank you very much. Train conductor listening to audio illegally.
Yeah. We understand. Craig...
Maybe it's not legal, but...
Yeah.
Against company policy.
It might be illegal as well, though. I mean, I don't know. It sounds sketchy.
I mean, you're in a loud train.
I know, so that's my justification at work when they get on me for having both headphones in. I'm like, I can't hear a fucking thing anyway. Like, you understand that, right? Like, this is a loud-ass place. I can't hear shit. And the sad thing is when I only have one in, when I go into the break room where it's nice and quiet, the ear that's more deaf is the one that didn't have the fucking headphone in it.
That's correct.
I'm like, this is loud in here. Like, I should have both in for my own fucking safety, if anything.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I love stories like that. So, guys, send those to fffanatics123@gmail.com.
Yeah, please do. And also get in touch with us if we owe you a Patreon episode as well. I've reached out a lot over the months and the years, and not everyone has gotten back to me. So if you are one of those and you are interested in doing it, get it in now. Because once we move away from our weekly schedule, there's no telling when we'll be able to get anything like that done.
So yeah, this is what we talked about a couple weeks ago after the podcast was over. We talked about restructuring our Patreon so that basically we're going to try to fulfill everything that we've promised to fulfill, but not add any more to the workload that we have going forward. So I think that tier, I think we should shut it down at the end of this year. We're still owing those people episodes that have already contributed. And if you want to contribute, you basically have like a week to do it. But yeah, as soon as January 1st happens, I'm getting rid of that tier. Just because we're so behind on that one. And we really appreciate those who have done it. But now it's like, I think some people are jumping on to be on the show last minute, and that's great. But you only have a certain amount of time to do that now. Yeah,
because we still want to cover all of the other Final Fantasy medias. Like, we've got these 13 books. We've got Final Fantasy X-2, a couple things there.
10.2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. We've still got to do that. We've still
got to do Unlimited.
Yeah, oh my God, that's right. Unlimited. We still have a few things that we need to knock out, so it's going to be kind of tight from here on out. But I mean, we'll make time for it. I mean, if we have to do like a big ass listen to of one entire thing to make room for you guys, we will, because we want to make good on all of the promises and all the things. And like we said before, you only have to donate the one time. And plenty of people have done it. They've just like dropped, $20 or whatever it is, gotten all of the rewards, and then just like deleted it. And that's fine. That's what that's kind of what we want, to be honest. Like it makes me uncomfortable when people still just give us a ton of money every month, and I'm like, oh my God. That's a lot, man.
I'm way more comfortable with someone like giving us $1 a month.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like it feels fine.
Cumulative, if like a bunch of people did that, we'd be pretty well off, actually.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, there's no pressure. If that's what you want to do, just drop it and then get in on that. It's fun.
I'm gonna end that thing at the end of this month. So. Just the rest of December. By the way, guys, is this our last episode before Christmas, or do we have another one? We have one.
Yeah, we'll have one more, yeah.
All right, so enjoy the Christmas season. Schweiss, I'm missing the snow. Has it snowed up there at all?
It snowed about 5.5 inches a week ago.
Shit.
Yeah, I left for work on, I think it was last Sunday or the Sunday before after we podcasted, and I was like, this is like a shit ton of snow out here right now. But it's pretty much cleared up now. There's a ton of snow in the mountains. I'm pretty sure the snowpack is like maxed.
No, there's no snow down here.
Yeah.
And in fact, I could still pretty much just walk around outside, no problem. The little bitches here that live here think it's cold, but whatever. It's not really that cold. It's like night here right now is like middle of the day in the fall in Utah. So
nice.
Yeah, that's about the temperature level we're talking about here, at least how cold it feels. But yeah, at my work they're playing a bunch of Christmas songs, which has been infuriating because there's only 20 Christmas songs and they keep on looping them.
And they're all terrible.
Right? Yeah, it's just different versions of the same songs over and over again. But they keep playing White Christmas. And that's ironic.
Yeah.
It's not ironic. It's actually fitting. Everybody's dreaming of a white Christmas. No one in LA is going to see one. So,
yeah.
It's just like, it's dandy. Anyway, I have some news here. So you want to get to the news?
Yeah, let's dive into that here.
Okay, so first up in news. Schweiss, check your recorder. Make sure we're recording, by the way. First up in news.
Yeah,
Final
we're good.
Fantasy.
We're good.
Okay, good. I'm just terrified right now. Final Fantasy 30th anniversary Distant Worlds music app and PS4 theme coming to the PlayStation Plus in Japan.
Oh, buzzkill.
Yeah. It was released on December 5th. Basically has a bunch of songs from Distant Worlds, I guess, to play in the background while you're cleaning your apartment. So there you go. And, only for the PS Plus accounts that are at least 2 months old. So there you go. And it has a nice little theme as well. So thank you, Shinru, for gathering our news today, by the way. Any thoughts on that one, Schweiss?
I mean, it's kind of unfair that it's only in Japan, but I think it's funny how they did something similar to what they did for FanFest with FF14, where they're like, you can only get it if you've been subbing for 2 months at least. Like, because with the FanFest FF14, they're like, you had to have had an account between June and October. You had to have been a paying customer between these 4 months to be able to be eligible to try to get in line for tickets to this event. You can't just last minute sign up, sub, and then get your tickets.
First year was so easy.
I know.
So easy.
Yeah, and we're a way larger show now than we ever were back then. Like, so much more. So fucking much. And they let us in. And now they're just like, no one gets in.
So I know you're excited for this. I know my roommate actually plays Brave Exvius, but Final Fantasy Brave Exvius War of the Visions announced as a new RPG coming out in 2019. They have a teaser website and a teaser trailer, I guess. The translation of the titles being "In this war-torn world with." Let's try that again. In this war-torn world with sword in hand. Let's retranslate that, guys. Holy shit, Silicon Era. Let's not keep that sentence there. That's too much. In this war-torn world with sword in hand, for what would you fight? What would you protect? The visions are with the ring.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't understand that at all, but all right. I'm sure it makes sense to somebody out there.
I'm sure someone gets it. Do you happen to have this tab pulled up?
No, I don't. No.
Oh, damn. All right.
I'll grab it.
Okay.
Why, you want me to read some of it?
No, there's a trailer, so I'm wondering if we could,
yeah, you know what? Let me grab it here.
Okay.
Great podcasts.
Yeah, you can pause the recording.
Yeah. All right, so we got this trailer going. Square Enix.
War. Okay, we got like a crystal cathedral.
Yeah. A continent of lapis. That's the currency in that game, by the way.
Okay.
So it's America. We're just rich. Here, where the legend of the crystal is told.
Three big lions in a castle? What the fuck? That's some crazy architecture going on there. There's some flags and tiny print everywhere.
I will defend you. It looks like there's some kind of war. Oh, a war-torn world with sword in hand. There it is.
Oh.
For what would you fight? What would you protect?
It's really just paint, like little digital paintings.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a crystal. There's a big dragon. Final Fantasy, Brave Exvius, War of the Visions.
Yeah, interesting they're having a new game. It feels like they could just put... Oh, it's a tactical RPG, huh? Wow.
Yeah, that's what it says. What kind of RPG is the original? Is it not tactical?
No, it is not. It's just a straight up RPG. I don't know.
Okay. Well, what do you think? What do you think of that PowerPoint presentation with art on it?
Yeah, it's it looked interesting. I guess Brave Exvius was fine. It's not really something I would go back to, but that looks a tactical RPG. I haven't played one of those in a while, so that could be fun.
Oh, you haven't?
yeah.
It's only been a few months, huh? So Hajime Tabata, the second Sakaguchi. If I knew my KISS members, I would be able to do some some comparing and contrasting, I guess, but I don't. All my favorite bands usually have the same fucking people in it.
Yeah.
So Hajime Tabata, his new company is called JP Games, and they are going to launch in January 2019. And he kindly asks for everybody's support.
Well, I suppose you have it. I mean, I don't know what that good. Sending thoughts and prayers. That's kind of how it feels. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what kind of games are put out. I mean,
you know what I think that he'll do though? I think he will actually put out games.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, something tells me.
Unlike some others that were forced to wait on for years and years.
Something tells me he finishes games. I want you to Nomura is still working on Kingdom Hearts 3. So
yeah.
Think about that. And probably Final Fantasy Versus 13 somewhere. Okay, so in his stead, the lead programmer Takeshi Aramaki is taking over as head of Luminous Productions, which was the Final Fantasy 15. It was the Luminous engine and all the things surrounding that. I think it's it's the company Square Enix created to work on that game.
Mm-hmm.
And the lead programmer is now the main dude in charge. So they didn't dissolve it. They just put a new guy in charge. Interesting, huh?
Yeah, that's. That is odd. I mean, especially hearing how much money it lost. It's strange that they would keep it going. But
And there's also like a rumor about Luminous Production that they are currently working on a new AAA title for the PlayStation 5.
oh wow,
Yeah. So that might be interesting.
yeah, that is interesting. I mean, I know they've talked about the PS5, but we haven't really heard much about it being a thing.
Hopefully, it's Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah.
But Final Fantasy 15 is still the king. Final Fantasy 15, a new empire. According to Sensor Tower, estimated to have brought in $1 million a day in the month of November.
Oh shit, that's a lot of money.
And has made $485 million globally since its launch in June 2017. I don't know how they're getting those numbers. It's not coming from Square. I think it's based upon like estimates on the Android store.
Mm-hmm.
But that is an insane amount of money, and I can't believe that they would be losing so much money at Square Enix if that mobile game was making that much money, right?
Yeah, it seems odd that
that's the cost of a Grand Theft Auto game right there. They just recoup that.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, that's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if I believe that article, but that's a lot if that's the case. But twice, we're gonna have another game we got to play.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy 15 Comrades, the multiplayer mode, has been released as a standalone version on PS4 and Xbox One. It is available for $10 apparently, and we got to get into it. Apparently, we have to have PlayStation Plus to take part in it. So, good luck with that.
Oh God, I'm too poor right now.
It was $40 for a year on Black Friday, man.
I didn't have $40 on Black Friday.
Well, you don't have $40 now either, so
I know, I definitely don't have $40 now.
And yet, we still need it.
Are you ready for this? I had $40 for groceries this week. That's what I had.
Yeah.
After all my other expenses. Yeah. $40 for groceries.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Things are real tight. I'm looking for a second job right now. Might be doing that Instacart dealio thing as a contractor there, so I can set my own hours.
Oh, or you like fucking shop for people?
Yeah, or you shop for people.
God.
Yeah, I might have to do that for extra money.
This is like post-recession work that only exists when people have money again, and are just lazy.
Oh no, it's just the world of the future. It's ordering everything online. Like people who have money order everything online. People who don't have money work for those people.
Yeah.
There we go. That's the new world where we're all going to be delivery drivers in the future.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's how it seems.
So I have a trailer here for which I have not seen. Final Fantasy 15 multiplayer Comrades. Okay, so can we play this together? Is there a co-op?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's online.
Oh, then fuck yeah. That should be fun.
Yeah. You ready to get into that?
Hell yeah. Let's press play. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, ready.
It's rated T.
Yeah. Language, suggestive themes, and something else. Luminous Productions. All right.
Okay.
A couple guys running around with costumes on.
In chocobo suits.
And the crow guy. I can't remember what his name is, but...
The crow.
All right, running around the cities.
It's weird seeing a Final Fantasy 15 game with no Noctis yet.
Yeah.
Just like a dude in a t-shirt.
Craft your own character. You get to build them, it seems. Combat looks about the same.
Yeah, combat looks pretty much exactly the same. Graphics do not look as good. At least in the trailer.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
I could see him dumbing it down for online.
Oh, yeah, that's probably the case, huh? Weapons, it looks like. Making weapons. Oh, that's cool. It's like Another thing in Prometheus where you do the surgery.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but for weapons.
Man, I just hope we're able to play this together. Hope it somehow works out.
It'll work out. I can figure it out, or we can figure it out. Some days our schedules are together. We both work late, so we can handle it. Revis is in here.
So is Arden there?
Arden's in there, yeah.
All right.
Okay, there's a bunch of fighting around. Another painting. So thank you, Square, for having paintings in your shit. But yeah, guys, go get that because I have to get it.
Yeah, which means everyone has to get it.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, that's the case. And then Final Fantasy 15. What do you think, Schweiss?
I mean, it's unfortunate that it qualifies as a game to play. Not that I don't want to play it. It's just like we still have a bunch of other games that we've got to knock out, and this coming out in an applicable manner is just getting in my way, man.
We'll do it right after the Chocobo Dungeon.
Yeah, I am kind of looking forward to seeing what they do with that game as far as multiplayer is concerned, because I've always wanted it to be a multiplayer single-player campaign. Like, take the campaign and make it available for everyone to play. And I don't understand why they haven't done that yet. I don't get why you can't do a 4-man co-op of Final Fantasy 15's main story, because you have 4 characters. You could do it technically, but they just haven't yet.
Then your friend's gonna be like, "God, you're gonna watch the whole cutscene? Fuck, man."
Yeah.
Just like in FF14 when you're in the big, huge dungeons.
Yeah, and you're left behind.
And you're doing them for the first time, and then everybody else has skipped the cutscene and gone like 2 miles away from where you were, and you can't find the way now.
Yeah, and you can't participate in the fight, and you're just stuck in the fucking dungeon all day.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So, yeah, that's what I would say. It's not quite practical yet, but whatever. Final Fantasy 15 is getting a show. It's a trailer showcasing its Final Fantasy 14 collaboration, which is part of the quest titled Adventurer from Another World, which is part of the free update. Anyway, I have that one ready. If you want to watch it in 3, 2, 1. And this is rated teen for partial nudity. You're out of this world.
Come on. No, don't tell me we're too late.
Garuda is here.
Yeah, let's see how they fare against the real bosses.
So you're like adventurers. I'm Yajime of the Y Tribe.
Oh my god, what the really weird montage for her. Here's all my emoticons.
Do you? You have to help me, please.
Alright, so she's begging the crew for help in the 14 realm. And they're fighting Garuda, which is odd, because Garuda's an old boss.
Garuda is smiling. She's really
brings out her eyes, you know.
Yeah. So I think this is actually an FF15 one. Yeah, this is FF15. So FF15 is having 14 collaboration.
Oh, see, I read it as the other way.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
That's very odd.
Yeah, so you're going to get a Final Fantasy 14 themed costume as a reward.
That's kind of cool. That's interesting. Everything we've seen up to this point has been the opposite. It's been such and such game is in FF14 now.
I know exactly why they're doing it, though. It's to get those FF15 players that are new to the Final Fantasy series and to have them try FF14.
Yeah. Although it didn't really look like FF14 at all, so they're going to be disappointed when they get into 14.
Add the characters and had Garuda. Yeah, they're going to be like, what? I can't just hack and slash?
Yeah, I can't just button mash to win? Oh my god.
Dude, bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to have a new anime to watch, by the way, Schweiss. This is going to be called Final Fantasy 15 Episode Art and Prologue.
I saw that.
We've got a little bit of key artwork, and we're going to have a trailer on December 21st, so not quite yet. But yeah, we're gonna have another anime to watch.
Well, I mean, I liked the 15 animes, so I'm looking forward.
Yeah, me too.
I like reviewing things that I don't have to work to do. You know, like it's satisfying to just be able to sit back and be like, take a couple notes here and there, remember what they said, talk about it, and it's over. It's not a 30-hour game where you're also remembering what they said, not taking any notes, forgetting everything. Terrible episode, worst episode of all time. It's just easier. It's nice, so it's good. And the animes are high quality, I felt.
Yeah, so I would like to remind Scott Spot once again to make sure to do audio books in the next month of Final Fantasy 13 2 Fragments After and Final Fantasy 13 Reminiscence Tracer of Memories as well.
Yeah. Hook us up, man.
Our final piece of news. I did hear some rumors about Kingdom Hearts in the break room at that something leaked, by the way.
It's a so apparently there were a bunch of copies of Kingdom Hearts 3 that were stolen from a distribution center.
No.
And people have played it.
Oh shit.
But they're shutting that shit down because people are trying to sell it online for like $100 a copy. Which means that the game is done and is ready. Which is
well, is it really?
I mean, fuck, I don't know, man. I don't know what's real anymore. Like, I don't know what to believe. You know, but yeah, there have been news stories about it, and that I think might have been what leaked.
I wonder if they have to make those games. I wonder if Disney has to like approve everything.
Maybe.
So maybe the game is done and they have to go through a bunch of other red tape.
Yeah, there's a good chance of that. That's kind of a good idea, though, to have like a second company be like, hey, you know, coming in and like collaborating with them and make it so that they both have to approve of it for it to go out.
That's just speculation. I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, I think it's crazy that it's done already. I mean, it comes out in like a month. That seems like a lot. That means 15 was nowhere near being done. Like, because to me, when I think, okay, the games are shipped, they're ready to sell, like that to me is like the week before, if I were to be any guess. I mean, I know you have to start producing the actual discs probably a little while before that, especially on a game that's going to sell a couple million copies like Kingdom Hearts 3 is, at least. And, you know, you have them produced, but to have them shipped out to warehouses and things like that, that seems more of a last-minute thing, I would imagine, but I don't know. So that's why it's like hard to believe almost that people found and stole them. But there were pictures up on like eBay and shit. But Square cracked down on that, and they got the account shut down and the items removed. So now these people are just stuck with stolen copies of Kingdom Hearts 3, it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want anybody to spoil anything for me. So
if you have one and you want to give it to us, I mean, please do. But and that day, Ultima fell out of the good graces of Square forever.
Yeah, we were never in the good graces of Square.
No.
By the way, they did have Mr. Happy on for like a stream the other day of like this. Was it Dissidia or something like that? I don't know. It was like an official Square Enix Twitch stream.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, oh fuck, that's Mr. Happy. I've seen that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, well, we're not quite there. But.
What are we, just chopped liver over here?
Yeah,
like,
we are.
Yes.
We are. Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, like thinking, I was looking at iTunes the other day at our new logo for the Chocobo games, which is an amazing logo, by the way. So thank you very much.
Does it look like shit on iTunes?
No, it looks like the logo we should have had the whole time.
Oh, it looks cool, huh? It's a great looking logo.
It's a super Final Fantasy looking logo. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's sad because we're going to have it for like 2 weeks.
I know. Whatever.
But I think he said he's going to give us the Dissidia one. Our good friend stole us. He's just going to give it to us because he's wanted to make that one for a very long time. So we'll have that for the fighters. And then I guess we'll just revert back to the Crystals one for a couple weeks while we're doing Comrades.
I just keep it on whatever, like
the previous season. All right, yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
What we did for the last time. But I don't know if anybody's tracking the logo changes.
I don't know. I mean, someone would have to be with us from the beginning and still with us to see the changes, or else it would just change to whatever it is now.
That's true.
And they'd be like, why the hell is this icon changed?
We got to get like a part of our site that's the gallery.
Yeah. With all the great artwork that's been provided.
Yeah. So our final piece of news is that Katy Perry had a gun to her head and money on the table, and she took it. And she sang a song called Immortal Flame, and they created a music video, and this is a promotion event for Katy Perry and Final Fantasy Brave Exvius.
You know, I feel like one of those two parties is getting the better end of this promotion, and it's not Katy Perry.
It's not Katy Perry.
Katy Perry is much larger than Final Fantasy, I believe. So it's interesting that she would do such a thing. But
yeah,
she saw Ariana Grande, and she's like, "Oh, Ariana Grande, I think she's so fucking cool now, huh? Like, you're the new thing. Well, guess what? I could be in Final Fantasy 2. Ha!" It's like when fucking Ed Sheeran shows up in Thrones. He's like, you know what? I kind of feel like being in Game of Thrones. And he goes to Game of Thrones.
A song, by the way.
Yeah, and he goes to the Thrones guys, and they're like, hell yeah, we'll have Ed Sheeran in here. Come on in, buddy. Yeah, it's like you want to be part of it. You want to know if you've made it big? Get in a mobile Final Fantasy game or get in on on Game of Thrones. That's when you know you're at the peak.
You know what's lame? He should have played someone nasty. He shouldn't have played like a nice dude who sings.
Yeah.
That's what he plays in Game of Thrones for like a second.
I know.
Like, oh, we're the boys who aren't rapists in this in this universe.
The three men who are not evil and terrible.
Yeah. Ed Sheeran is part of that group. Of course he is. I would like to have seen him like really push himself, you know.
Yeah, I want to see his range.
And this is the part where you attack her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, you ready to watch this music video? I watched about half of it.
I started about a third of a second of it and made a noise, and I paused it again really quickly. So this is all new to me. And at first, I thought it was an ad. To be honest, when it first popped up, I was like, "What is this ad?"
It is. It is an ad.
It's true, but that's why we're here, though. It's not an ad to the ad. But
all right,
let's do it.
Just do a countdown for me.
All right, 2, 1, 0, go.
The worst countdown you've ever done, by the way.
That's pretty bad, yeah. Alarm's going off. 8:30.
Different times, so that's nice. Get up, Katie. Get into the car now. A bunch of texting, because when I see a music video, I like to see people texting.
Yeah.
And taking selfies.
Getting in the car, driving over now. You're not driving. These people.
I don't know why Katy Perry did the thing where she does the bleach hair that's really short that everybody did
like
over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I liked her with the long brown hair, but whatever. Okay.
I feel like there's
You're
no
listening
way.
to this song. You're in the line of fire tonight.
It's so peaceful for what it is. Oh my god, our dog's going to be in the game? Sweet.
Jesus.
She's like, everything's becoming gamified in this video. Yeah, she doesn't even look like herself, like, at all right now. It's really weird.
No.
Okay, now she's on that one app, the thing, Periscope. Yeah. Like, everyone just like, I can't remember what word they were using, but there were a few times Joe was planking around on it, and it was just like the same word over and over again for bots.
Okay, okay, that's the hook. Be your immortal flame. Sounds like... No, that doesn't work. She's not even trying in this video, by the way.
No. And I don't like the style, because it looks like it's like buffering almost.
Yeah.
Like endlessly.
What's wrong with my YouTube video?
God damn it, YouTube. You plague me with ads and then you give me this shit. So Katy Perry in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. December 12th, 2018 is part 1 for her.
Yeah.
Is that TV eyeball thing like one of her music videos? Is that something?
I have no idea what the fuck that is.
Okay, because, yeah, like, as you know, and as we've said many times, we don't really listen to that kind of music, especially me.
I've listened to some Katy Perry.
I mean, yeah, everybody's heard Katy Perry.
Still, if you throw Ariana Grande's biggest song at me, I'm not gonna have heard it before.
Isn't that sad? Because she's like huge, like massive.
Same thing with Drake. I've only ever heard one Drake song, and it was for this show.
Yeah.
And it's not like I am avoiding it. I've never heard it.
We're just in our metal bubble, is all, you know.
I think that's what it is. We're in a metal bubble. You're right. I've heard the new Scars on Broadway album quite a few times. So.
Yeah. See, metal bubble.
Metal bubble. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, that's it for news. Schweiss, do you want to go ahead and talk about Final Fantasy XIII Episode 0 Promise?
Yeah, let's dive in. All right, so Promise. What they should have promised is that they would release this to us in the game so that we would understand what the fuck was going on when we started Final Fantasy XIII, which, if you say you did, you're lying to both yourself and me right now. So fuck you. Because it's a confusing game. And much like what we got with the On the Way to a Smile series for Final Fantasy VII, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of left out of Final Fantasy XIII in the beginning, and I think this all would have been sort of useful information, a useful segue into the craziness that is this new world on Cocoon and Pulse and so on and so forth. So, Final Fantasy Episode 0, Part 1.
It's so basically this whole entire Part 1 called Encounter, it's 7 chapters long, as well as the whole thing being 7 chapters long. And this one's about Sarah and Lightning.
Yeah.
And kind of their relationship. God damn it. This is what pisses me off about FF13's like storytelling, is that not only did they, I've talked about this like 6 times now on this show, but not only did they have a really confusing story with a shitload of lore, but then they told it out of order.
Yeah. The days are all jacked up when you start the game.
The days are all jacked up. So if you played FF13, you know this. And if you haven't, Final Fantasy 13 is told within 13 chapters. And then within those 13 chapters, there's flashbacks that are like days, like certain days before, yada yada, or whatever. And it'll flash back to those sections. You play those sections, then you keep going. Or really, you watch those sections. So, like, the scene with Snow and Sarah at the fireworks thing, that is not in order from where you are in the game. Because in the game, you're way later than that. Then you flash back to that moment when they're dealing with this information that she's become a Lassie. And then it goes on from there. And at that point, by the way, you're going, what the fuck? What's happening?
I don't know. What now?
What's a Lassie and what's a Falsy? I mean, that was like the biggest crux of not understanding that game.
Yeah,
like 2 very similar sounding terms.
And then they're like, oh, by the way,
everywhere.
If you don't do your thing, you turn into a Seath. And you're like, no.
Yeah.
What?
Seath. Turn to Crystal. Is that good? Is that bad?
Wouldn't you rather be a Seath because you're still kind of alive and not in a fucking crystal? Like, no, why not?
Yeah. So this is kind of dealing with her. This is dealing with Sarah. I might have fallen asleep during the lightning section now that I think about it.
All right.
I should have taken notes. You took notes? Okay.
Oh, yeah. So it starts off with Lightning under attack by the Bloodfang Bass. She kind of gores these beasts. She's just out kind of attacking, training a bit. And then suddenly a blue-haired man and a black-haired woman show up. And the black-haired woman, of course, has a low neckline, which I was like, too. And they introduce themselves as Team Nora, which, as we know, stands for No Obligations, Rules, or Authority.
Yeah, I did not know that. I do know Team Nora exists in Final Fantasy 13, but that was... Never mentioned. Maybe it was in one of the pages and pages of
data log.
Data logs.
I didn't know that until this thing either, to be honest.
Yeah.
So Lightning is on a job for Lieutenant Amidar, and Snow eventually shows up, and we get a weird thing where they they talk about fucking Lieutenant Amidar, her boss, basically is like talking about how awesome Lightning's sword is. He's like, oh, it's so fucking cool, man. Like, it's so good. It's got this little inscription that says, invoke my name, I am Lightning on it. Like, oh. Which is like a really nerdy thing. Like, I imagine Lightning as like a LARPer with something like that written on her thing. Like, invoke thy name, I am Lightning. Like, I just imagine her with like a big old belly and like fucking really tight-fitting armor out in the public park fighting with a bunch of other people with fucking foam swords.
When there's downtime, she's talking about the new Dragon Ball Z series.
yeah, and looking up conspiracy theories online. Like, that's the thing, like, anyway, whatever. It's just a really nerdy fucking thing written on her sword that I don't remember ever seeing. Where I would have been like, lame. But
there was some sort of something. Close-up of, there's something written there. In like FF13 language.
Yeah, and she meets up with Snow, and Snow's like, "Oh my god, like that's so cool! Like this is really cool." He's a big fan of Lightning. And then there's something here that like Lightning says she thinks to herself that someone's acting all Justice League, and I was like, "What? Like what kind of? Why is that in here? Like there's not a Justice League in this universe, like as far as I know, unless it's like the social justice warriors of Cocoon, the Justice League, led by Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman,
which they're losing, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're losing badly. But I thought that was a really weird thing. They introduced SciComm. They talk about the soldiers there, and then Lightning reveals that Snow has been following Sarah around for a while, and it felt really stalkery to me, but obviously it's not. And Snow's kind of a nice guy. He's trying to be super friendly with Lightning, and Lightning, of course, as we all know, she's just kind of pissy all the time.
Yeah, she's got a stick up her rear.
Yeah, and she threatens Snow for going after Sarah. And it's funny because I was listening to this, and Alex. My wife, Alexandria, kind of turns over to me. She's like, Lightning sounds like kind of a bitch. And I'm like, she's a little pissy, like, all the time. She's kind of pissed off about a lot of stuff. And I'm like, whatever. A lot of people have gotten a lot of shit for saying that. But I'm like, it's fucking shoe fits, She's kind of grump-assed in this first game especially. Like, later on, she becomes pretty chill, like in Lightning Returns.
She's like, I have to be the tough one.
Yeah.
There's a whole cutscene after that.
Yeah, I have to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's basically what she's saying. So this whole thing is basically just kind of setting up the world, setting up her job. She's on duty. She's kind of scouting out the area for the fireworks show. That's going to be a big thing. It's like some weird cultural deal where you make a wish on a firework. It sounds really fucking dumb, but whatever. Believe in what you want. So that's basically what she's scouting out, and she ran into Snow.
Don't we have a drop for that?
Oh yeah, we totally do. Yeah, shit. Let me find it. I mean, now that it's like
now that it's 20 seconds too late.
Yeah,
30 seconds.
Whatever it takes to make you happy.
There you go. There you go. It's it seems odd, but that's the reason. So she's kind of scouting out the area, runs into Snow, and she's like, ugh, I instantly doesn't like Snow. They're like two completely opposite people.
I hate snow. It's so cold.
Yeah, it gets everywhere.
Gets everywhere.
Yeah. But that's how the first chapter of this ends, though, with Lightning basically threatening Snow and saying that he's no good. So
yeah, I didn't look at this in chapters. For me, it was like, there was Lightning in her training thing, which was cool to see. And then Sarah's whole experience getting the mark, right? And then telling like Snow about it. And
yeah.
All that build up that we didn't get in the game.
Pretty much, yeah. So yeah, chapter 2 kicks off with Sarah's kind of hanging out on the beach. She's supposed to meet up with Snow, but he's late because he's busy talking to Lightning. And then she talks about like high school and like eventually going to the university. And this is kind of some world building that you don't really think about, but I'm like, oh yeah, I guess they would have some sort of education system in Cocoon. Like, I know they have a middle school, a high school, and college now, and I'm like, that's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know. It's just something that like, it's like characters like going to the bathroom. It's something that you don't see in media, but like you just inherently figure probably happen. So it's kind of brings it down. It builds it a little more. Talking about these things. She, of course, has daddy issues only because her dad is dead, and, of course, mother issues as well because her mom's fucking dead, too. And this is also something we never knew. They don't really talk about how they're orphans. The only ones that talk about them being orphans are Nora because they're all up in your face about it, you know. But
well, except that she's with Daddy Snow.
That's true, yeah. Daddy Snow will take care of you.
That's
and
right.
then as he's like chewing on his bottom lip, he's just thinking, I'll take care of that older sister of yours, too.
God, I remember having a conversation. I remember having a conversation with someone, and they were talking about a person that they knew, and the kind of their crazy exploits and kind of crazy behavior, erratic behavior, sexually, and then at the end of it, they go, "Well, she was abused when she was a kid," and I'm like, "I knew that already. You didn't have to." You didn't have to tell me that. I got the full, like, you could see the results.
Yeah.
And you know what happened first, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And in this case, you know, Snow is a gigantic man, and she is a 13-year-old girl.
She's not, though, is the weird thing.
And I feel like there's something going on there. she's looking for a daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Papa Snow, you know.
Papa Snow, yeah. No, she's not. She's not. I'm joking.
No,
but,
yeah. She's a pretty tough character, to be honest.
Sure, yeah.
So I think it's funny that they never mentioned that they're, at least as far as I remember, that they're orphaned as well. I mean, it's just something they never talked about, so.
They did in that flashback where Lightning says she has to be tough in FF13. She does talk about their parents just a tiny bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's one of 50 hours of cutscenes in 13, but...
Of course, yeah.
There you go.
Of course. So I wrote down here is Lightning... Oh, there was a line in there that made me laugh. It said, Snow came sooner than she thought, and I was like, it's probably not the first time. But so Lightning is pissed about Snow, and Snow kind of like reveals that they met up, and I was like, man, Snow is totally like he's totally an EFSP. He's a fucking feeler, extrovert. Like, no wonder Lightning's so pissed off all the time. So they introduce their relationship to Lightning. They're like, you know what? We have to decide. We have to reveal that we're dating. We're a thing. You know, she'll give it up. She'll be fine with it. She's like, she might seem really mad and angry on the outside, but she's real nice on the inside. To which I was like, yeah, not really. I mean. Once, like, the second and third game pop up, sure. I mean, she's not really in the second game at all until the end. And 3, she's kind of omnipotent, I guess. Omnipresent for the world. She's saving souls. But this is way before that shit. So, whatever. They decide, you know what, we're going to go find a birthday gift for Lightning. Because her birthday is going to be the day after the fireworks display. And there's a 5-year difference between the two, I think. Is what they said. They say that later, and I think Lightning was 15 when their mother died, and I think she's turning like 21 or something.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I think Snow would be, yeah. Her 21st birthday was the day after the fireworks show. So I guess Sarah is like 16 in this game. Whatever.
Wait, what's the difference between Snow and Sarah?
You know what? I don't actually know.
Okay. Well, I don't have to worry about it. I want to be an adult, she says. She felt it keenly. To protect Sarah, to make my only little sister happy, I have to become an adult as fast as I can. Yeah, so that's like part of that. That's in Chapter 3. By the way, you can find this entire thing in text, and I think this is where Scott Spot got it. This is a fan translation at dilly-shilley.blogspot.com.
Yeah.
put out in 2009 by a blogger named Lissar, Lissar.
So in 13, he is 21. In 13.2, he's 23. And in Lightning Returns, he's also 23 up to 523 because we know what happens in that fucking game.
Uh-huh.
So he's way too old for that.
Or do we actually know what happens in that game?
Not really, but whatever. It was really fun, so that's something.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember things like, for some reason, I thought Episode 0 was taking place after FF13. And I guess I must have gotten it mixed up with another set of Final Fantasy 13 short stories. But
I thought it was the one between 13 and 13.2. But
yeah, so did I. When it was starting, it's like, she's in Bowden. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then I was
Bowden.
like, wait, Episode 0, that would probably be a prequel. Just based on the name.
I had the same thought process, I think, at that point. So, they were talking about Bowden being there for hundreds of years. That those buildings there were historic. It was that was an interesting way to describe it, because I never like when you're playing FF13, everything looks like super futuristic or whatever, and it's like, oh no, those are historic according to this novella.
Yeah, it never feels that way.
Yeah.
So
what's next?
Chapter 3 kicks off. I wrote down Lightning needs therapy. She's very angry. They talk about like the relationship with their mother at the end, and Sarah being the better cook. And apparently there are lots of social programs at Cocoon. It's something that someone was telling them as their mother was dying. The mom sent Sarah away, kind of told Lightning she's going to have to take care of Sarah, but like she doesn't have to do it alone. But Lightning, of course, she
ain't gonna take that EBT card.
Yeah, no, she's like, I'm too proud for that. Like she puts on her fucking rattlesnake shirt. She walks out there and gets a job and does it her way, tears it up. So she's like, this is my job to take care of her. I'm gonna be the parents now for this little sister of mine. 3-year difference. Sorry, there's a 3-year difference. So I guess Sarah would be 18. I was wrong about the 5 years, sorry. But Lightning ends up changing her name here, as we all know. This is when she decides to change her name after her mom dies. And she basically, the rest of it, she kind of just thinks about how not great of a fit Snow is for her sister. She's not down.
Literally not great of a fit. I mean, that guy is huge.
Yeah.
And she is about the smallest you can get. So.
Pretty much. She's a very, very small individual.
Literally, the fit, it doesn't work. It's weird.
Yeah. What is Lightning's... What the hell is her name?
What is her problem?
Yeah, no, her name in the game. It's like Claire. Is that what it is? It's Claire.
I think it's Claire. Yeah.
Man, that's kind of a lame name.
Claire? I don't think it's a lame name. The name that we know her by is Lightning.
Yeah, it's like one's so much more hardcore. Fast striking.
Yeah, her name is Claire Farron.
Claire. Yeah, so she changes her name from Claire to Lightning once she decides, I have to be the parent, and she refuses to accept Snow. Yeah, she's just like, no, this guy's no good. This guy's no good at all. That's how Chapter 3 ends. Chapter 4. Sarah is exploring the vestige outside of town. She opens it up. At first she's like, oh, there must have been other people here recently because like it's totally open now and it hasn't been open before. This is really weird. She knows she's going to get in trouble for going in there, but she's like, you know what? I got to check it out, man. We got to explore. Got to explore a little bit, live a little.
I got this idea for all the people who live on Pulse. Don't explore anything.
Yeah.
Don't go into any strange buildings. If any, like, l'Cie pops up anywhere, go the opposite direction. Because you're going to get a tattoo on you, and you're going to have your fate completely changed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anytime you explore anything in FF13, that's what I've learned.
Yeah. Pulse, Cocoon, all of it. Just don't touch it. Don't touch anything.
Don't go into any ruins, man.
If you don't know what it is,
idea.
it's a bad plan, yeah.
Don't touch it.
So she's going around in there. She kind of fidgets with a couple things. She comes across some large being. She sees some like terrifying beast inside, and then she gets blasted with a bright light, and that's how the chapter ends. So pretty short little chapter, just Sarah sort of exploring this new thing that she has access to, and that's how it goes. So Chapter 5 is Lightning preparing for the fireworks show. She sort of acknowledges her lack of companionship with her sister. She's like, oh, I'm kind of a failure. I was just too busy for Sarah, and I always made work the excuse. And she's like, well, it's kind of my fault that Snow's around, because Snow's a big dumb bastard, and he's real nice to her, and I never was. She needed to seek attention from somewhere, and unfortunately she found it with him. And yeah, this is when we learned that she was 15 when her mom died. And that's when she started taking on the parental role for her sister. And then the most interesting chapter here, Chapter 6 and 7, I guess. Sarah hears the word Lassie when she's there in that vestige. She's unsure why she was chosen. She's kind of weirded out. She wakes up outside of the ruins, and
she went exploring in Pulse.
Exactly.
Bad idea. Stay on the main roads, man.
Well, I mean, she's not on Pulse. They're still in Cocoon.
Sorry. Yeah, Cocoon is what I meant.
Yeah.
The whole time. Yeah, man. You can't be exploring around Cocoon, like old buildings and shit. No, don't do that shit.
Yeah, everyone knows 13 is hyperlinear. Like, why are you trying to explore? There's nothing. No good will come out of exploring. That's why you got to do the hallway.
A different cutscene will come out of exploring. A cutscene that's going to change your fate forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's important to stay out of that shit.
Yeah, so
otherwise you're going to turn into a crystal.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. So Sarah sees some weird mark on her arm. She thinks it's like dirt or something. She tries to wipe it away. She realizes it's not going. And then she recognizes the symbol of a Lassie. Of a Lassie. She's like, oh, I've read about this before. Like, oh my God.
Are you getting Lassie and Falsey mixed up?
Yeah, I am. The Lassie was chosen.
Still.
Yeah, I know, after all these years. So the Falsey chose her as a warrior of the Lassie. And she just kind of trying to come to terms with her Lassie-ness there. But apparently she's like really weirded out because the thing came from Pulse. But she's like, why would you make me a Lassie here on Cocoon? Like, what the fuck? And seeing the Falsey, I guess, is what changed her into the Lassie, which I think is something they talked about in 13 as well, because Dodge totally saw one, and he did his little mission, and he became a crystal, So all you have to do is see him. It's like a weird... It's almost like a play on Gorgons from Greek mythology. You look at him and you turn into a crystal, but it's like over time after you complete a certain mission. Mm-hmm. So it's a much more delayed Gorgon attack.
Yeah.
But they kind of refer to the Lassie from Pulse as the pawns of the devil, Jesus, and enemies
of the devil,
and enemies of Cocoon. So she's kind of really freaking out about her new transformation and what she's become, and she just kind of tries to come to terms with that, and that's how her chapter ends. So. Pretty good stuff. I think it would have been useful to have that in Final Fantasy 13. To be honest, I think there's a lot of good information there that we're just like left to sort of try to figure out on our own.
It's not so much that there's a ton of information here in this chapter or in these 7 chapters. Encounter, where the fuck. It's just that there's some character building and there's setup and there's the world.
Yeah.
Just kind of all the things that we're missing in FF13, which is like get us some bearings here before we set off on this crazy journey.
Yeah, make us care a little more to pick up on those little details.
Yeah, so now it's like, okay, before you play FF13, make sure you read these episode zeros.
I think it's important. If you haven't played 13, this is a good place to start.
It is.
So the last chapter is basically Lightning trying to plan a vacation for her and Sarah. She first sees Fang and Vanille. There's a weird little thing where she's like jealous of their fashion sense. And this is the dumb part. She runs into her like sergeant guy or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, you doing some shopping here at the shopping mall?" And I'm like, "Yes." I don't know, like why do you say it that way?
No,
it's like
just visiting.
Yeah, just hanging out. She's
hanging
prepping for her mission again, just kind of scouting out the area, and it talks about how her 21st birthday will be the day after the fireworks show, and that's really all of notability from Chapter 7. So most of it is the Chapter 6 stuff. I mean, with Sarah turning into a Lassie, I thought that was kind of interesting. Something I wish we would have had in the game. And yeah, like you said, I mean, it sort of gives us a foundation in which to build the rest of the game onto. And I don't think we really had that in 13.
Right.
I think it was definitely missing this piece that Episode 0, whatever the fuck, gave us. So I think it was a pretty solid start to the audiobooks. We've listened to some really painstaking ones in the past, and this one, thankfully, wasn't on the same level as the Final Fantasy VII ones, especially that The Kids Are All Right, Turks one.
Well, that one we had to reread.
Yeah.
That was the worst thing ever. Or was it? No. Okay, now I'm starting to get them mixed up. But yeah. No, yeah, this was a lot better than those.
Yeah,
Just all of them.
Which is surprising, because in the past I've called out Toriyama as the worst storyteller in the entire Final Fantasy universe. And I still kind of feel like he's awful at telling the story. He's not awful at creating a story. He just can't communicate that to anybody else.
Right.
But this
or
is
put it in an order that makes us care.
Yeah, or makes us be able to figure out what the fuck's going on. But this is a good place to start, and I think it's pretty well done. I don't have any beef with this little short.
I don't either, man. I think it was interesting. It's not really like a story I can grapple into and talk about, because it's just a beginning thing. But it was nice to see some character development there. Some stuff that happened before, learn about the world. Yeah, and I thought the fan translator did a good job, and I thought that Scott Spot did a good job reading the fan translation. So
exactly, yeah.
So thank you, Scott Spot. Really appreciate it. And we're going to continue that. There are 7 parts of this whole thing. Some of them are pretty short, so I don't know how much we're going to do in the future, but yeah, we're going to be continuing this, finishing that, and then we now have 2 new novellas to put on top of it. So feel free, Scott Spot, to take care of that shit too.
Yeah, read it up, man. Read it up.
Anyway, what's this? Is it just Scott Spot YouTube channel? No spaces?
Yeah, it's just the Scott Spot.
The Scott
on
Spot.
YouTube. So youtube.com/the Scott Spot should take you to his channel. He's got a bunch of Let's Plays and stuff. And it's kind of hard to dig it out, but I would just type in Final Fantasy XIII Episode 0, and it'll be the first one that comes up. So
awesome. Well, we do have some iTunes reviews. Schweiss, is it 45 minutes till you have to go to work?
Yeah, we got time, though. We can read a few.
Well, I'm thinking maybe save iTunes reviews till next week, and then we'll answer one question, and we'll call it good.
Oh, okay. Let's get to the questions then.
Okay. Okay, well, we had 5 questions. I'm just going to pick one for today because we both have to go to work here soon.
Yeah, but thank you for submitting them. We'll get to them all.
Yes, thank you very much. So this is on Twitter. I asked for FF questions, and this one's probably going to be the one that... yeah, let's just do this one. So this is from John Adam, and #UFFQ, by the way. Just use that if you want to ask us questions on Twitter, or use our forums at ultimatefinalfantasy.com. Those are still going, believe it or not.
Yeah,
we might have to just make a Reddit. Fuck it, let's make a Geekdom Reddit. Someone get on that shit. I don't know. Anyway, #UFFQ. I know it's not going to happen, but hypothetically speaking, if you made a quote-unquote sequel podcast to UFF, what would it be? What related subject matter would you want to make a podcast about?
It already did happen. It's the Dragon Quest podcast. I think we would have just done that if we were to make any sequel. I think that would be the one that would make the most sense to do. Would be Dragon Quest. I don't know what other long-running series we could even really compare Final Fantasy to.
Well, we're already playing the Kingdom Hearts games because that's automatically like that has Final Fantasy characters in it. A lot of the creators of Final Fantasy worked on those games, and kind of like that's kind of the cross section there. But then, of course, they stole a bunch of shit from Dragon Quest, so Dragon Quest would be another kind of close sequel podcast if we were ever to do one. Frankly, I still kind of want to do a Metal Gear Solid podcast.
Yeah.
Just because I've played 2 of the games all the way through, and they were like 2 of the most amazing games ever. And I would love to do a whole series run of the Metal Gear games. Hell, even like the originals up to the newest shit.
Yeah.
Was Metal Gear Solid 5 the last one?
Yeah, it was. Well, I mean, there's Metal Gear Survive, but it's just multiplayer, and it's apparently kind of shitty. So.
Oh, well, that's lame.
I know.
Is Kojima even part of that thing?
No, he didn't touch it at all. So
well,
it doesn't count in my eyes.
Doesn't count. But yeah, I guess I would have done that stuff.
That was one of the ones we wanted to do in the beginning because we wanted to make a podcast network, which we have done.
Yeah.
But we wanted to do mostly gaming, and one of our ideas was to do a Metal Gear Solid podcast. We had ideas for a Zelda podcast. That was one we were going to do before Nude Clan. So that was always one on the back burner. We wanted to do... Yeah, mostly those 2. Craig has talked to me about doing a Devil May Cry podcast. Things like that. Just, I don't know. But I think the one that we would do that would make the most sense, like a sequel podcast, would be either a Kingdom Hearts pod, which of course we're going to play those anyway for the show, or a Dragon Quest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's not like the show is ending. It's just the weekly format of the show is ending.
Yeah.
And by the way, if I were to make another podcast, I don't know if I would do a weekly thing for just hobby. If I wanted to make like a living off of this, I would start. Because I've thought about doing this before. I'm like, you get those moments of doubt, and you go, oh, what should I do with my life? And I have thought, oh, make a giant podcast network. And it's like, start 8 shows, 8 weekly shows, and kill myself for a few years before being able to have the income in order to support myself.
Yeah.
But I could do that, but I'm not going to. But yeah, I would fuck it. I would do all those. I would do a Metal Gear Solid one. I would do a Kingdom Hearts one.
And you never know. I mean, the idea of a podcast with an end date is quite appealing to me. I mean, it's not that I'm done doing Ultima or done doing Nude Clan or anything like that, but I kind of like the idea of a limited series. I mean, I love watching limited series TV shows at times, like when it's based on a book. I enjoy that, like, oh, this is a 9-episode season and that's it. It's like I like that style of entertainment from time to time. So the appeal to do a Metal Gear Solid podcast is definitely there. And that would be the one that would be a sequel. I mean, it's hard calling it a sequel to an FF podcast, but if Joe and I were to do another gaming podcast, that would probably be what we would do.
That would probably be it. Yeah.
Because we don't need to do Dragon Quest anymore. The guys are already up to like 7 on the Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior show that they're doing. I mean, of course, we are awesome, and we would probably do a wonderful job at that, but it's already been done on the network, so like it'd be kind of a dick move to be like, oh, ours is bigger because we actually do the show, like it'd be kind of cruel and unusual to do that kind of shit. So like we can't do that one, which is the obvious one. Kingdom Hearts is already there. I would like to do Metal Gear Solid. I really would. There are, some spin-offs that are really great. Peace Walker is supposed to be like a fucking 9 out of 10 game. Got some little card games in there. Like we could make it a thing. But we couldn't do weekly. It would have to be like a review podcast. So there'd
or
be
if
like,
we did it weekly, we would like pre-plan it. Like,
yeah.
This is a 22-week series.
We started it 3 years ago. Here's a weekly run for the next 3 months. And then the show's over. So we could technically do it, but it would be a big thing to do before that. It would be a limited series. And
the other sequel to this show is Nude Clan.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's going strong, and it's a great show, and I listen to it every week.
Yeah.
Even hearing things like, let's redo the Bloodborne review, even though it had a pretty high score anyway. So fuck off, you people.
Hey, I was against doing that. I was like,
yeah, because it's stupid.
Dumb. Yeah, we already did the Bloodborne review.
It desacrifies the Nude Clan scores.
Exactly, yeah. It makes them meaningless. I mean, not that they mean a whole lot, anyway, but
they do. They mean everything.
Yeah, but it goes from that to nothing. Nothing. Yeah. So if you like what we've done, listen to the first, 2 years of Nude Clan where Joe's there as well. And then, even beyond that, it's a lot of fun. So I guess Nude Clan is technically the sequel.
Yeah, it is technically the sequel.
Yeah.
I don't even think there's a question there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a whole bunch of other stuff, John Adam. I mean, Jesus Christ. I got a Godzilla podcast, too.
Yeah, I've got 30 episodes recorded for A Song of Schweiss and Johnson. If you like Game of Thrones, I think that's a fun show. I enjoy recording it at the very least.
I guess those are spin-offs. I guess if it's me and you, it's a sequel.
Yeah,
if it's just one of us, it's a spin-off. So Nude Clan's a sequel.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm.
And Getting Fat with Caleb and Joe, which needs to be archived.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess Super Sexy Swinging Fan Fiction, although I hope the ones with me in it, I hope they somehow get deleted off of the internet, but they're not going to.
Yeah, good luck.
But yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening to another episode of Ultimate Final Fantasy. We'll read your iTunes reviews next time, or at least try to, if our schedules don't get fucking crazy again. And probably next time we'll just do part 2 of this thing, unless we have a Patreon invite. So stay tuned for that, and play along with Chocobo Dungeon, which we'll have beaten in 2 weeks from now.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be kind of your New Year's episode, I guess. And I think that's it. UltimateFinalFantasy.com is where you can find us. Facebook, we have a Facebook page, we have a YouTube page that you guys can check out. I am at Joseph DeGolier on Twitter.
I am at UFF Podcast.
And and a real quick update to those who helped me on the movie I made. I did see the rough cut the other day, so it exists. It's now officially a movie.
Is it rough?
Oh, it's rough. I'm not like there's a David Fincher quote which I always repeat to myself. Did this on Emmanuel's song. Did it for this one. Just like mentally prepared. He says, if you don't want to kill yourself after seeing the rough cut, there's something wrong. There's like
all right.
There's something wrong with your objectivity. So now it's 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Holy shit.
And it's a 90-page script. So it's way too long at the moment. So we basically have to take the movie in chunks. Right now we're trying to take pieces that are 20 something minutes long and take them down to 15 or 12 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're doing the first sequence is what we're calling it. The first sequence we got to cut down to under 15 minutes. That's our goal anyway. Whatever feels right is really the right thing. But
right, yeah.
So I gave my editor 2 pages of notes just for those minutes. But it's a movie. It exists, and somehow the sound is not too bad.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Yeah, that was the thing I was like terrified about, was the sound of that thing, whether or not it was gonna work. But yeah, it's a real thing now, and so like renewed. My excitement is renewed about the old project. So because it's been like 3 months since I did anything on it. It's just Parker's been hacking away at a really, really long edit of that movie. So it's just kind of like going in and see, he put up the clay, like he did all our hard work, or I guess he like brought in the piece of marble to the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And now we got to like chip it away and make something real out of it. So there's an update for those who helped me on the movie. Really appreciate all of that.
You know what? You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you, Schweiss. Schweiss is in the movie, actually.
That's my fee for helping out.
Your line made me laugh when I watched the thing. So there's a couple points that made me laugh. Some of them unintentionally, like
not great.
There's one part, because I'm gonna cut it out. So this is funny to me. There's one part where one character like is pointing a gun at another character while he's like trying to take a shower at the same time to like get blood off of him. And like the other character's terrified, and we got this cool like over the shoulder shot where like he's out of focus and the character that he's pointing the gun at is in focus, and he's like washing himself in the shower. But when he picked up, I'm gonna cut this out. When he picked up a big shampoo bottle, I had lost it. Like it made this really tense scene like really funny. It's like,
did he kill him right after that?
He's like. I can't tell you that, but okay. he's pointing the gun at the person, just like the real intensity, it's really scary or whatever. Like then picks up this big shampoo bottle, which didn't make me laugh on the day, but made me laugh real hard when I watched the footage. It's a good prop comedy. I'm gonna have to steal that for some other thing.
Nice, but, yeah. That doesn't belong in that movie, but
yeah, that was my biggest laugh in that movie too. So that movie's pretty humorless.
Yeah.
I mean, there's your scene, and then there's like two scenes, one of which we're gonna have to cut out because it's just not working. With another character that's really funny, but because the movie is humorless, it's like I guess they kind of stick out a little bit.
Yeah.
The fucking shampoo bottle, it made me laugh so fucking hard. Anyway. Fuck. All right. It's not Nude Clan. I can't just go off on tangents all day because I do have a story. I think I'll call in Nude Clan's phone line and talk about it. But
okay.
Oh, fuck, man. There was something at work this week that was just very interesting. But anyways, guys, those are our links. I did put up a blog spot a little bit talking about Ultima Final Fantasy. So if you want to go check out my blog, you can. That's on our Geekdom Entertainment site. Just look on the About the Hosts thing on UFF and you can find my blog. Schweiss has a blog as well where he ranks gummy bears and Megadeth albums.
That's right. That's the best thing to do.
That's right. And soon I'm going to have my movie list for 2018 up there.
Oh, the best to the worst.
The best movies of 2018. Dude, there's been so many fucking good movies this year. It's like so crazy.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot.
But there's a ton of good movies, and there's still so many movies I haven't seen from this year too. And I've been watching like 3 movies a week. So
damn.
Yeah, man. AMC. It's my replacement for MoviePass, and it's great. Sorry, there's no good AMCs over in Utah, except in Lake.
Yeah,
all right.
I fucking know.
All right, you got to go to work. We'll see you guys next time.
As always, enjoy the grind.